Order in the court.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I am Taurian B.
How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're recording this a week beforehand, but I'll be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this comes out.
I know you hype.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like on go mode right now because the project that we're doing and the artists that we're talking about, is with all the events that have happened.
He's doing a lot of shit right now.
Yeah. So, we're talking about Kendrick Lamar. We're reviewing Damn, that album. And, there's so much going on right now because on We Don't Trust You, he has a verse and he's pretty much, saying, fuck the big three. It's just big me. And it just has my attention because I'm just like, damn, while listening to Damn, the album, he's been saying this for all along. He has a little man complex.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, damn, I keep saying,
yeah.
And, he really wants that spot. So, hearing that project and knowing that, I guess Future and Metro let him be known, yo, you could bomb on these niggas on this album.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them. And he just did it, but, what were your thoughts on We Don't Trust You? How did you?
On the album itself or the song?
No.
I like the album a lot. I think, majority of why I like the album more so has to do with Metro and the way that he put it together. Because I just really enjoy the way he sequences albums. He makes everything sound like a main event.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say I didn't like Future on it. Future actually did some of his
That's right.
He actually did rapping on this. Which we just don't get that side of Future as much anymore. But I think the production of this is what brought that out. And then the features on here were great. You had Ross. That Ross feature was really good.
Immaculate.
The production for that song, really good. And then you got Playboy Cardi. You hear Thugger on here. Yeah, man, this album and The Weeknd, which was funny because I remember when Diddy's album was coming out, he was promoting The Weeknd's feature as the last Weeknd feature for some reason. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck. So I
think Puff just jumped the gun. Maybe
yeah.
And said this, I'm not doing no more features after this, but he recorded that before he recorded the song with Puff.
Yeah, maybe. But I know that he didn't want to. There was a point too where he was saying The Weeknd is no longer a thing. He was saying he's not calling himself The Weeknd no more.
Be able to testify.
Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? So I don't know. But from what I know, he's still calling himself The Weeknd. But anyway, I really like this album. And I think next week they're coming out with another one.
Let's go.
Yeah. I think it's next week or
What Drake this is.
It might be. What's gonna happen with that? That's what I want to see.
I don't think much. I think it's going to take time. I'll say this much. I think that people wanting a response immediately is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's social media, and Drake kind of conditioned them to that. I waited 4 days. Where y'all at? He did that.
But that's true. But I'm gonna shoot Drake some bail, which I don't usually do. Meek is supposed to be Mr. Rappity Rapper, flamers in the street, just having bars. So I think it was just I thought you were the rapper guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the stance that he was taking. I understand people were yo, but he said this to Meek, but Meek's supposed to be from Philly, where he's from, they breed, they birth Muslims and rappers.
Yeah.
So it's just something that that's what I think his stance was from that. Because he ain't saying that to Pusha T.
Yeah, but he lost that battle
because of his silence. Even though I definitely know that Pusha T won, but Drake was silent. He kind of.
But Drake. So when Drake did, when Infrared came out, only a couple days later, W Freestyle
came. A day later.
Yeah.
Because I think he already knew Infrared was on the way, so he just had it in the tuck. So yeah, I don't know. I don't. Drake is battle tested, so I'm not.
He is battle tested.
I'm not concerned about Drake. I saw something where I was just bored on YouTube and somebody was trying to say that Common won that battle, and I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, you're probably talking about that channel I've been following too. I think it's What's the Dirt.
something like
Shout out
that.
to What's the Dirt.
I feel
He
like,
does really good research.
yeah, he does. Something like he's a white guy from Canada. Right?
I don't know if he's from Canada, but I just know he's some white guy.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like I didn't think that Common won that. I think the State Scheme verse was
State Scheme verse was amazing, but on just purely a rap perspective, on purely rap, I think Common got him.
purely rap.
Yeah, it was just purely rap.
I'll listen back to So Sweet.
Yeah, So Sweet was good, but he also had other shit before So Sweet.
He did.
That was really good, and after it too.
I just think the Canada drop bar is what did it.
Oh yeah, Canada drop. Yeah, I liked it back then. Back then it was good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this beef, man. I don't even know how far it's gonna go. But all I know is Kendrick been wanting this for a while. Okay. He's been wanting this for a minute. So
let's get into this album.
So speaking of Kendrick, the album that we're getting into is Damn. Damn is his fourth album. And it was released April 14th, 2017. We're coming up on the anniversary of this album. Album was a commercial and critical success. It received Best Rap Album at the 2018 Grammys. And of course, Pulitzer Prize for music. The album features appearances from Rihanna, Zakari from TDE, and U2. The album sold 603,000 copies in the first week of release and was led by 3 singles, which were Humble, Loyalty, and Love. It was expected to be released April 7th after he put out The Heart Part 4. And he was like, y'all got till April 7th to get y'all shit together. So it was supposed to just follow. But then for whatever reason, they pushed it back like another week, which is
maybe sample occurrences.
Yeah, which still worked in its favor. Everybody was already on alert and already waiting for it. So coming off of To Pimp a Butterfly, going into this album, we didn't really know what to expect from Kendrick. We didn't know, like, To Pimp a Butterfly was such a big switch in his artistry, and like we thought you kind of pinned him as one type of artist, and then To Pimp a Butterfly completely changed everything, right? Mm-hmm. So Damn, it was like up in the air. We didn't know what we were getting. So what was your perception of this album when it came out?
I was kind of like thrown off because To Pimp a Butterfly is my favorite Kendrick album, and I thought like I had him figured out, like, oh, okay, like this is like the lane that he's going in, and like Damn is such a conflicting album and an angry album, in my opinion. And I think that like Damn is great, and I love the imagery from it, and I love that he was like really like putting his flag in the sand that he's the best rapper, period, no matter who you're talking about, like past or present. But it kind of was like when I first heard Damn, I thought it was amazing, but like with all of the people having conspiracy theories about like the meaning of songs and like playing it backwards and forwards and everything like that, it kind of made me enjoy it less because I felt so much pressure to understand what the fuck he was like, where he was going with.
Got you.
But I was able to like gather some things and like listen to it on my own and then just revisit. And it's basically just about like good and evil, the wicked and the weak, the wicked and the weak. Mm-hmm. It's duality. It's two things, two different sides. And Kendrick gives us that on each track is wicked, weakness, wicked, weakness. Mm-hmm. And it was just something I was just trying to understand because like this won a Pulitzer Prize because this is something that should be taught in colleges and in schools and stuff like that. So that's what I took from it. And like I was just he said there was a lot of controversial shit that was said in this album, and I wonder how he didn't get backlash for it.
Like what?
So remember the voicemail from his Uncle Carl where he's telling him that like, yo, you're Israelite, like, you know what I'm saying? And basically he's telling him from the book of Deuteronomy that all people of color are suffering because they're the original people of God, and God is punishing us because we haven't like fully like embraced God. We don't live our life that way. So I didn't understand how the Jewish community was not on his ass for that.
Yeah, I mean, this was 2017 at the same time. So I
just think that this album was so smart, it went over their heads and they didn't catch it.
Yeah.
They were mad at him for All Right.
They were mad at him for All Right. And then some women were mad at him for Be Humble, which was crazy. The whole I'm sick and tired of the Photoshop. Show me something real with stretch marks.
Yeah, because his wife is fair skinned.
Yeah. But like we gotta pick our battles better.
Yeah, man.
We gotta pick what we mad about better.
Get it?
Somebody's coming out there and saying what they like and don't like,
Mm-hmm.
not shitting on it, but this is what I like. I don't like this, but I like this. Then the people over here are like, why you don't like this? And it's like, well, I don't like it. Like, what the fuck y'all want me to do? What do y'all like? What? Come on, we gotta be better.
This album had a lot of it. Just, I mean, it was just a human. He's a human being, and I think that this album was like when he was in the thick of his stardom, and it just was a lot of shit that he was just dealing with. You know, he went from being like this just regular kid in Compton, you know, as he calls by his family, man. And he's next thing you know, he's the biggest star in the world, and like he's on all these stages. Like it wasn't even predicted that Kendrick was going to be this big, you know. Like when we were looking at artists coming up through the blog era, like we, you know, it wasn't he wasn't picked as the one.
Yeah,
and then to achieve this greatness and him having like a chip on his shoulder, he's a little guy, so I'm pretty sure he got picked on a lot, you know, coming up and everything like that. Probably gave him a complex.
Typically, you see the ripple effects of that level of stardom happen between the second and the third album for somebody that's gonna be out here for a while. You know, it was heightened when it happened to Eminem because he's white, so it's like there's more that goes into that. So like Slim Shady LP into Marshall Mathers, you get songs like The Way I Am and all of it, like all these songs that are you're so tainted by stardom and like the way that people treat you and stuff like that. And Kendrick explores a lot of different themes that are similar to that on this album.
What is it? The 7 deadly sins or the 9 deadly sins?
7. Yeah.
7 deadly sins are absolutely like referenced throughout this whole project.
Yeah.
Even some of the song titles are after the 7 deadly sins.
Lust. Is it Fear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few of them on there.
Yeah, but like they're all weaved into the theme of this album of wickedness and weakness.
This is absolutely a Hotep album.
It is. But then also what gives it so much praise too is that it's like that, but then it also has commercial appeal.
Oh yeah.
So it's a balance.
It's crazy, right? Because this is to me his most commercial album.
It is.
And like when he went on, so I missed the Damn tour, but I went to the TDE tour. And the TDE tour was great, and I regretted not going to the Damn tour. I had tickets to go see Damn, and then like the day of, I was doing something else, and I just didn't feel like driving to the arena because I had tickets by myself. But I went to go see the TDE tour, and it was like kind of themed like a pep rally for a sports team, which was pretty cool. Like J-Rock was huge at that time too with his project.
Oh yeah.
So it was cool to see like all of them, but I regret not going to see Damn.
Yeah. I saw Kendrick for this, but like when he was in tour mode for this, that's when I went to that Dave Chappelle show. At Radio City.
He closed. Okay.
And he closed. So I went to the day that it said Dave Chappelle and a very special guest, because who did I think it was? Eddie Murphy.
Oh, you thought? Oh,
because at the time, look, right at the time on Facebook, this is when I was still on Facebook, but look, so on Facebook, Dave Chappelle put up a video of him talking to Eddie Murphy on FaceTime, and he was like, yo, doing this run at Radio City, just come out for one day. He was like, you know, I got all these kids, nigga, like I ain't leaving. He was like, yo, just come for one day. He was like, I think about it, I love you, bro. And then they get off the phone, and then soon after that, he put up all the dates, and all the dates, it said Dave Chappelle with Solange, Dave Chappelle with Erykah Badu. It had all these people in their names. And then this one said a very special guest. I'm like,
Eddie Murphy.
It's Eddie Murphy. It was like a good, you know, hypothesis, you know, like it was like that was my prediction. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna pick this day that it doesn't say a name. I went, and his very special guest was Kendrick Lamar. Right. And I was like,
not a letdown.
You could have, it's not a letdown, but you could have put Kendrick's name. You put Erykah Badu's name. You put Solange's name.
Kendrick is the biggest, is more of a special guest than those two people.
You think so? I mean, in current times, I guess, right? Okay. But yeah, Kendrick came out and he was in full on Kung Fu Kenny mode. Like when he introduced Kendrick, the lights went out, big ass screen came on. Kendrick was like with some fucking nunchucks, and it was a lot. Like, and then Kung Fu Kenny
got the glow,
came on the screen, and then he came out and performed DNA. Like he ran through some shit. Like it was really dope to see.
That's cool.
And it was a really good show. But yeah, man, this was definitely his most commercial project. even though it tackles some real issues. So the album opens with Blood, which helps set the tone for this album.
Absolutely.
For divide and thought with wickedness and weakness, consistent theme that's a battle throughout the album. Attempting to help the old lady and like good conscience and like doing something as a good Samaritan, which bounces back of like her in turn shooting him, right? And then it takes us on this journey and this path of like, the right decision and discipline, obedience, which is like another theme with this album too.
Mm-hmm.
But that shoots us right into DNA.
Right. The funny thing to me about the old lady shooting him is like, that viral video, the old man where somebody's trying to rob him and he pretends to have a heart attack.
Oh yeah, yeah,
he's like, no, call the ambulance for you.
I forgot about
That's
that.
what I think happened to Kendrick and that old lady.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But yes, it takes us right into DNA, right? He's the biggest rapper on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't know if you noticed, but I got really, really, really intricate. He lists 23 times he lists off 23 different things about his DNA. And there's 23 chromosomes in your DNA.
No, I didn't realize that he did that.
Yeah, like if you listen to it, he's naming the things that's like in his DNA that makes him. And it's like good and bad. But the funny thing to me is just that, do you think that rappers are this calculated when they're making projects?
There's this I forget who it is. Every time I think, Dissect, it's probably Dissect. Every time they put something up, I'm like, yo, that's really smart, but I don't know if he was thinking like that. It just so happens that it works that way.
And I've never it's rare because like when artists get interviewed and like they get asked these questions, you can tell that they be like they just go along with it. Like, oh yeah. I think sometimes it just so happens like that.
Yeah, but there's definitely some rappers that I will give that credit. Like if that same fact came up and we were talking about Lupe, you probably wouldn't question it.
Yeah, you wouldn't question it at all.
And it's like, oh yeah, nah, that's Lupe.
Yeah. There's some artists where I think like they absolutely like go out their way to do that. Like they count certain things in a song, or like they make sure like each bar starts with a certain letter or something like that so it can spell something out and had a message. And when Zane Lowe interviewed Kendrick about this project, like he alluded to, he said that a lot of things are left up for the fans to
interpretation.
decide. Interpretation. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I mean, like we all have 23 chromosomes.
Yeah.
So
that was really cool. And then not even just that, and the messaging of that, his fucking flow on this song.
Yes.
He kicked that shit up. Did you write down the sample for that too?
I did not.
Damn. I knew it, but there is a consistent, like the give me some ganja. Like that's a consistent,
let's see though.
That's a consistent sample.
Yeah, why not? Let's
that samples he samples Keith Murray. The countdown.
Okay, so Mike Will produced this one.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
It doesn't say it. But I know one of the songs that they sample is from Keith Murray.
Okay.
Shout out to Keith Murray. I don't know, he's not in the best state of mind at this moment. I saw a very
he's still at it?
Troubling video of him recently, yeah.
I didn't know Keith was still at it.
He's still at it, like heavy. It's pretty sad to see. But yeah, no, DNA is amazing. It's elite rapping. The video was amazing. Shout out to Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle had to memorize this fucking song the way that he did.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that shit was dope. And then Kung Fu Kenny, the whole moniker was inspired by Don Cheadle's character from Rush Hour.
Yeah. And I was so mad, like when the song, like I didn't catch that that his name was Kung Fu Kenny in Rush Hour.
Yeah. So that shit was fly. It's so many random moments that help make this album. And then DNA leads us to Ya, which is short for forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but it's Yawa.
Yahweh, which is
Yeah,
God.
another name for God.
Yeah.
On this song, like you were saying earlier, like he said, I'm an Israelite, don't call me black no more.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is also like the second or third time that he played this clip of Geraldo Rivera saying that um he didn't really like Kendrick's messaging from like All Right. He called out All Right particularly.
Mm-hmm.
And Kendrick said in the press, like, yo, how could you take something that's so positive and turn it into a negative? Like it's meant to uplift my people.
Right.
And
Because they hate Pope.
yeah, that's the part that Geraldo Rivera like highlighted. But and then Geraldo Rivera was like interviewed about it afterwards, and he said Drake's music should be celebrated more than Kendrick's, which I thought was very interesting in these times. But it was just crazy because at the same time he said that he doesn't really listen to Kendrick like that, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't really know his catalog like that, but I just know that Drake should be highlighted more." And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. This song like is such like a gear change because
Mhm.
like, you know, it's like slow
It
down.
slows it down.
Like the one thing that's interesting to me is he said about his recording process is that he tries to stick with the theme of what he's recording. So let's say he has a better song, that song just gets left on the cutting room floor. So I think a song like a song I don't really care for. So in my mind, I'm like, he definitely had a better song than this. But this song fit the flow of the message that he was trying to deliver on this project. So this is what we got.
Yeah. And then yeah, Yah takes us into Element, which was played everywhere.
Yeah, the song is
Inescapable.
Yeah.
Kid Capri doesn't get the love he deserves, the flowers he deserves for this album.
Right.
I think this was probably the beginning of like the resurrection of including DJs the way that people were on their albums again.
Well, okay, yeah, that's true. And the funny thing is original we would have gotten it with Drake and DJ Drama if he let DJ Drama keep his part on If You're Reading This Too Late.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Kid Capri had an interview and he said that he had no idea what he was going into. He recorded his parts, but he didn't hear the album.
Mm-hmm.
And the album was originally supposed to be called What Happens on Earth Stays on Earth. That's
Yeah.
why he keeps saying it over and over again. And it's funny because it's like, damn, like when I first heard it, I was like Vegas? Like, but yeah, like, you know, Kendrick is saying like, yo, what happens here stays here. So like live your life and then, you know, you deal with your making when you get there and shit like that. Like this shit gonna stay here anyway. You're gonna leave it behind.
Which I think is just such a good fucking, what happens on Earth stays on Earth. I love that fucking quote.
Right.
But yeah, this song is fun. The chorus is fire. Kendrick is always good at choruses, man. He's so good at being tapped into shit like that.
He is. Also, like, you could tell that, like, on this song, like, he's being, like, very braggadocious, and you could tell that, like, to hide from, like, his feelings of feeling, like, because he feels like his family is cursed, or, like, his people are cursed, to hide from that, or, like, to hide from his success, like, that's why, like, he goes so hard at being the best rapper and getting that admiration and stuff like that, feeling that love, because outside of being a rap superstar, he kind of don't feel it.
Yeah. And then that perfectly leads us into Phil. Because Phil is the lonely at the top perspective that a lot of artists do, right?
Yeah.
And this is where he's at with it. Like, this is like how he's feeling. Ain't nobody praying for me.
Yes. I wanted to get to that part.
Yeah.
So on Element, Ain't Nobody Praying for Me is said, right? And then on Phil, it seems like it's when he's saying it's for different reasons. So on the track before that, it seems like he's like, I don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody praying for me. I'm me. I'm doing this. And then on Phil, it's like he's like, wait, really ain't nobody praying for me? And like, you know, the chick that's saying it on the track and everything like that. I just feel like he's coming to the realization that like, yo, like I'm doomed.
Yeah, it explores kind of backing himself into a corner, and it explores the isolation that is kind of foreshadowed in Kendrick's career. Because I think this album was the last time that he actually did full on press, you know, for an album. Before he kind of went into his own like hole, you know,
he did.
Like after this, like he did Zane Lowe. He did a How Many Seven interview for this album. He did a lot of shit for this album. And I think after this and this song, is it kind of foretells where he's at now. Like he kind of just does his own thing, and he doesn't really rely on the internet like how the typical artist would.
I think he reached that status where he kind of doesn't have to. Like he doesn't have to do like a press run
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. I think down the line though he's going to have to do press runs again and stuff. I think all of them are eventually. Like the artists when artists reach a certain point and like new artists come in and they get older, they have to do press runs to remind the younger generation that of who they are. So that might be like 10 years from now where Kendrick goes on a press run. If 10 years from now he's still making.
I mean, that nigga will be 46 in 10 years.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, but I think for Kendrick, he became one of those artists. I think this song has a lot to do with that. The messaging. He just became one of those artists that's like, yo, like all this shit is fake. All these people fake. Like all these artists have these moments where they're just like, yo, I'm not doing this shit no more. Like we're seeing Cole slowly come out of the hole with his next rollout that's coming out now. But at the same time, he's saying it's going to be his last album. So it's like that's probably, but I think that has a lot to do with it though. Since he feels like it's going to be his last one, he's like, let me give them everything now. Let me go on tour with the biggest artists in the world, even though, you know, I don't really fuck with this spear of superstardom, but let me just do this now because it helps me in the long run. So we'll see. But
Cole gonna be making a flute album soon.
Who knows? Who knows? I could see him doing some shit like that. Cole and 3 Stacks would make a good song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They would make
Who
a
knows?
really
Maybe
good
we'll
song.
get that. The next song is Loyalty, featuring Rihanna. The video was dope. I really enjoyed the video. Toxic relationship for sure. That was pretty much like what I like gathered from it. And then like seeing like, okay, so in this video, you got more of an idea of where he was going for with the album, like with the duality. There's 2 Kendricks in there. There's a good Kendrick, there's a bad Kendrick. Like, and like just showing like him as a different person. The imagery, the barking dog, him allowing Rihanna to kill him and he kind of like come out on the other side being the bad version of Kendrick. Like, I just thought that was pretty cool. Like, I was like, okay, like it gives you a little bit more insight. I don't enjoy his singing.
No,
I'm not a fan of Kendrick singing.
I like it. I thought because it's not really like singing; it's just like carrying a melody, carrying a tune.
I don't need
it. But I like this song a lot. It was a huge hit, perfect collab. It's so hard not to be humble, quote unquote. Which is like a thing. Grappling with this fame, right? Grappling with remaining tethered, remaining grounded.
It's hard not to know that you that nigga.
Yeah. It's hard not to acknowledge that you that nigga. Yeah. I think that's what he's trying to, that's what he does a lot on this album. Oh yeah. And this song won Best Rap Song performance at the 2018 Grammys. Of course. And then this is followed by Pride.
Love's gonna get you killed. And I think that, is like in rep, like, you know, it really follows the album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have Loyalty and he has this song where like he's talking about like love with Rihanna. And then like, you know, it moves on to like this one, like Pride. And like, it's just telling us like what love is going to happen to him, like what pride is going to do to him. Like these things like pride is going to cause death.
Also, keeps the religious theme going.
Right.
Proverb 11:2, when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom. And then that, of course,
leads us
into humble.
Humble, the Big Sean diss.
Yeah.
I remember Felix told me, he was like, that's a Big Sean diss, like a little bit. And I was like, what? Like, why would he? Like, I just was,
hold up.
I didn't get it. I knew, I was like, yeah, that is a Big Sean. Bro. I didn't believe it. Like, I was like, why? Like, who the fuck doesn't like Big Sean? Like, I was so, like, that was so left field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you picking on Big Sean? Like, he's not cool.
He can't stand his ass. Oh, another thing, speaking of Big Sean, so another thing we didn't reference, did you hear that that alternate version that leaked of Element?
I did.
Yeah, where he dissed Jay Electronica, Big Sean, and French Montana. I thought that was crazy. Kendrick might be like the last of a dying breed of MC that calls out names.
Yeah. You wanna know what I think is funny? I think that a lot of people don't know how to listen to rap. Because I have like one of my boys where he was arguing. He was like, "Yo, I don't like when rappers aren't direct." And I was like, "What rappers are direct? Like, who says name?" He was like, "Well, Nas." I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, he made like we knew that him and Jay-Z was going at it." I was like, "But Nas is one of the most like prolific subliminal rappers on earth in history."
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, most rap is subliminal. Like, so when people say name names, I'm like, all right, cool. We got Tupac's Hit 'Em Up.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, but I'm like, most times the best raps, the best disses are subliminals that we find out years later, and we gotta like go through it with a fine comb. Like,
yeah,
I
there's
just
certain
think,
subliminals where you just know, and then there's other ones like how Kanye was talking about what Drake does, where he'll diss you, and nobody will know he's dissing you but you, because he's talking about something that you know, that
right.
y'all know.
Right.
You know?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very odd to me that sometimes like people will like make it, I don't know, like they just make things like a little more odd. I don't know, they make things like a little, it's fucking weird, bro. I can't get over it. Like, it just annoys me that like sometimes like people just don't like they don't like that. Like, I'm like, it's a part of the sport. Like, it's you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, it just bothers me that when people aren't like excited about subliminal raps.
Yeah. It is definitely like, people just don't like to think about shit. They want everything to be black and white.
Nah, man. I'm like, yo, I love the fact that there's people finding out just now that Biggie and Nas were going at it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope.
That's art. Yeah, that's art. You're not supposed to get it all the time right away.
Right. Did you know Humble was supposed to go to Gucci Mane?
No, I didn't know that, but I can hear him on that beat.
He would have ruined that song.
You think so? I think he would have floated on that shit.
Well, it wouldn't have did what Kendrick did.
No,
it wouldn't have did that.
He would have did something completely different. But I think he would have sounded great. Gucci always knows how to rap. He knows how to.
Oh yeah, Guap know how to rap. I'm just saying it wouldn't have. It probably would have been an album cut that wouldn't have been a lead single for him.
No, probably not. But needless to say, Humble is a banger. The video is amazing. Shout out to Dave Myers. Dave Myers always keeps a consistently good visual. And this one was no different. And then Humble leads us into Lust.
I need some water.
Which is another one of the 7 deadly sins. Still of everyday temptations and
this song is battle. Fucking. This song is about lusting after a gorgeous woman and sex. All this nigga do is do metaphors and references to his dick and sex.
Let me pose ahead and
yeah. So yeah, like that's like what I got. And it's like, yo, he's going through the stages of stardom and like the things that like come to him. So like pride, money, like lust, like, you know, these things come with stardom and like where he's at. And, you know, it's really funny because you don't think like an artist like Kendrick Lamar gets bitches, but he definitely does.
Yeah. I mean, if you're an artist, you most likely you get bitches. But yeah, Lust is another really good one. Love follows that.
Sing it again.
Well, yeah, but Zakari kills this.
Yeah, he does. She does.
He does. Yeah.
Sorry.
Zakari bodies this. They talked about the creative process of this and how Kendrick heard the track and kind of basically made Zakari send it to him and was like, yo, I need this. And then he asked for the stems, and then it became what it is now. But one of the standouts for me for sure on this album.
And you know, he's referencing his wife. But also what was interesting
is his own 21 Questions.
Yeah. What's interesting is that like he pretty much says that like loyalty and trust are more important to him than love. And I thought that was like interesting to like state, because for some people, like they're like, yeah, like love is great, but like I need to be able to trust you. I need your loyalty. I need that. So that was a quite interesting thing. Like I can imagine like in that household, like I'll be honest, like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a friend named Courtney and he's short. And sometimes when I think about Kendrick Lamar, I think about Courtney. And I just think about like, you know, Courtney getting drunk arguing with his wife Chanel. And I think that's the same way how Kendrick and his wife argue. Same way. It's funny. I know. Shout out to Court. Love you, buddy. But yeah, I definitely think about that. Yeah. That's what I imagine.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, okay. So Triple X, right?
Yeah.
Triple X
Ooh, Kenny.
features U2.
That was a surprise.
And
I did not think that this song was going to sound so good.
yeah. It's so good. It's fucking chaotic as hell.
Mhm.
The production. Kendrick said there's 6 different verses to this song that he wrote.
Yeah, I think this one was fitting because it's, talking about like the poor state of America, and that's kind of U2's
Mhm.
bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, calls out American hypocrisy, and it's a transitional moment on this album, shifting from like something like love and talking about like looking more inner to like more outward now with
Mhm.
like the state of the world.
Right. So do you think that the character Johnny that he references is about little Baby King, talking about Johnny wants to drop out of school, Johnny don't want to go to school no more, he wants to be a rapper?
I don't think so.
No?
No,
Maybe I'm just reaching. Sorry.
I don't think so. But I
was really trying to get in my bag of symbolism.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. But then, I love the part where he brings it back inward when he talks about his family and being a protector toward the end. And he's like, yo, you come for this person, you come for that person, it's over for you. And then, talks about shooting people, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, all right, now let me go. I gotta go host this thing about gun violence or whatever.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like kids
So the
don't,
kids,
yeah.
That was funny.
I love that part.
Yeah, I feel like that's like most
That's most rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. That's funny as hell.
So then that leads us into Fear,
Yes.
which explores it explores Kendrick at 3 different stages of
Yes,
his
it
life.
does. Okay, we on the same page.
Yeah. So 7 years old, 17, and 27. So all 10 years apart.
Right.
7, which your biggest fear, different stages of fear.
Your mom.
Yeah. His mom having a strict parent.
Mm-hmm.
17, you outside now.
And you don't want to be
You're not trying to die at such a young age. 27, you facing more real shit now.
Right. And and I think like for him, he didn't want to lose his stardom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that be, get canceled or anything like that.
Or losing his creativity, losing his humbleness.
Right.
Are
you familiar with the story of Job from the Bible?
Which story?
Okay, so Job there's a character in there named Job. So basically, God told Job, like, I'll give you all the riches in the world. You just have to prove to me that you are loyal to me. So he just ruined his life. Like, it's kind of like the movie Anger Management with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
So where like God just does everything to fuck his life up. Like ruins his marriage, like ruins things for children, like makes him broke, like just all these bad things. And then God will ask him, like, do you still praise me? Am I still your Lord and Savior? He would say, yes, God. So then like eventually like he gives him all the riches and makes it all worth it. And like Kendrick is like referencing that story in the song, and it's just like, oh shit, like this, like, cause there's certain, just Sunday school when I was a kid. So there's certain stories I remember. So when I saw it, I was like, oh shit. But like my grandfather used to be like Job.
Be like Job. Yeah, and then the 4th verse actually is like, exploring like the weaker side, the weak perspective.
I have a problem with that. So with him saying the wicked or the weak, right? Because obviously to do wicked shit would be like the dark side, to do stuff like, with the devil or hell, right? But the weak is, I guess, being submissive to God.
But then,
doing good. Like the weak is like doing, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like wicked or weak, like it's like this side or that side. So like for me, like I had a hard time grasping that, because I don't think like submitting to God, or like, I'm not a super religious person, but like I consider that weak. Or maybe I'm getting it wrong.
So you're saying not submitting it? No, you're saying submitting would be weak?
That's what I gathered from it, yeah. Because if you're like, because like throughout the album, like you could tell like Kendrick has a problem like acknowledging God. Like he's upset, like, yo, if you're so great, why are you letting all this shit happen? And that's why his cousin Carl on the voicemail is explaining to him like, yo, we are the Israelites. We are God's children. Us, his Latinos and Indians, Native Americans are the people of God. We are Israelites, and we will not know happiness until like we acknowledge God and do everything on a righteous path. And like him saying, like him telling him that story, and like it goes throughout the album. So for me, I'm just like, you know, Kendrick is just like pissed off, like, yo, why did like slavery, like all of these horrible things have happened to us. Like, why do we deserve that? And it's just because God is mad at us. So like, I don't know. I just started like thinking like really deep, like, damn, why would it be weakness to, you know, do the right thing?
That's interesting. Well, I think I don't know if he was thinking about it like that. I think he explored it in a way that was, I'm trying to find what I wrote. It was something that stood out to me. Yeah, it was something that stood out to me from here. I think, okay, so I think he explored I think he explored weakness or wickedness as like, he kind of formed it in line with like discipline and not like having discipline and obedience.
Okay.
So I think that's the way he explored it. But the wickedness part is like everything else, like, you know, the lust, the not having humbleness and fear and not believing or questioning God and like those type of elements that you see him try to tug with. I think it's something like that.
Okay.
But then having a discipline falls in line with, you know, just kind of like submitting.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It was just something I just thought about. And I think that's kind of what Kendrick wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So the next thing we lead into is God.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I guess he's been through the ringer now. So he's like, yo, I'm on the God train.
Mm-hmm. This is what I wrote for this. Like, the battle of trying to remain humble while acknowledging his own greatness remains a challenge. So, yeah, it's this balancing act that he keeps kind of toying with, that he's having a problem with balancing.
Okay.
This what I feel like.
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with the singing on this one. It was okay. I wasn't mad at the singing on this one. I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty cool how like you know, it says fear God, like, you know, if you just looking at it, like reading it down or whatever like that.
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty cool. But yeah. Let's move
Fear
on.
God Duckworth.
Yeah, fear God Duckworth. Let's move into Duckworth, man.
Mm-hmm.
This story is so crazy to me.
Yeah, every time I hear this, I'm like, bro, you waited 4 albums to tell this story? This would have been the first story I told.
Yeah, I just think that what he did with Duckworth was like some of the best storytelling ever.
Mm-hmm.
And because like Top Dog, like first of all, it starts out with Top Dog talking to the police, and the police officer like asking him to like basically be like the neighborhood snitch.
Mm-hmm.
Declines that, goes to KFC.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's robbed the KFC already.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back and then, you know, Ducky, his dad, gives them free food. Like, yo, here, take these.
Take this.
Take this. And it like stops him from robbing the place. But I just think it kind of like, it's funny because I feel like everybody probably would have been like, I feel like that was like open game on them. Like, you know how I always tell a story how Nate Dogg was robbing Taco Bells with $10,000 check in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, for it to come full circle, I'm like, okay, maybe this is Kendrick like saying like, yo, like, you know, if Top Dog shot that shit up, he wouldn't be here, and the label, like, it would just ruin so much stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yo,
like he would be fatherless.
Yeah, he would be. He would be fatherless. Top would be in jail. Like, it would just be all of this, and he probably wouldn't be the Kendrick Lamar that we know today.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that it's like a cool story, and like I think everyone collectively, like when we all heard this and realized it, was like went to the Twitter timeline and was just like, yo,
yeah, like this is real.
That's just interesting. Like, you know, like your dad, like, hey dad, like I'm gonna like be working with these guys. His name's Top Dog. Like he has a record label. All right, I'd like to come. Then you come in and they see each other.
They see each other like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, what a mind fuck for real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that ends like the forward journey of this album.
Yeah.
But then of course, we know about another journey that this album takes us.
It's funny because it's like if you start it from the original way, it's like it goes from like darkness to like a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
But then like in the opposite way, it starts from like a good story until like a bad ending. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. It's just like either way, however you want to start the story off. You want to start off with a happy story or a bad story. Like And that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of what like we were like learning as we were like listening to this project.
So let's get to these ratings. I want to hear what you think.
Okay, I give Damn a 4 out of 5 waffles. It's a great project. Like his rapping is immaculate. The beat selection is great. Um, for me, I wasn't a fan of the singing on this project, and like knowing that I felt like I like Loyalty, but I felt like Loyalty and Y'all were like songs that were like shoehorned in because they fit the narrative of the song. But I'm like I can't let go that he had better songs.
I get this album a 4.5. I think the storytelling is so good. It's refreshing. It's unlike anything. It's such an adventurous album and it takes so many chances, but then at the same time, you know, it's very serious on the surface, but it still manages to be his most commercial album.
Yeah.
So it's like it's this balance that I've never seen before. And
I think the closest rapper that got to it was Jay
with which album?
Blueprint.
How so?
A commercial album that still like keeps its integrity as far.
Oh, and that, yeah. Okay, yes, okay. Then I'd agree with that. But I think as far as like with this, I was talking about more so like the topics that he explores.
Okay,
There's nothing that's really like commercial about it, but the commercial appeal is the features. So you got Rihanna, you got U2, you know, those are big staples on this album. And he kind of just brings them into his world and takes a little bit from them too. Like you're not using U2 is very intentional, you know.
Absolutely.
Using Rihanna is really intentional, especially in 2017 where she's coming off of Anti, you know. So this album just front to back or back to front, pause, is just an exploration piece. Like it's really, really good in that way. No matter how you revisit it, I would just say, go into it looking like really intentionally, listening to the story that he's given here. Whether you agree with it or not, I think it just still stands tall.
Yeah, this album definitely stands the test of time. And like, Chrissy, if you're watching, don't be mad at me. To Pimp a Butterfly, to me, is his classic album and his best album. But Damn is up there. It's just what I like from Kendrick is not wholeheartedly what this project gave. Like, you know,
I think To Pimp a Butterfly is absolutely a classic. I think this is my most replayable Kendrick album.
Damn.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think like Damn would be like what Kanye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is. Whereas like he basically gave the fans like what he knew that they would eat up and want. Like, and I think for some rappers, that's the thing that like fucks them up because they be like, yo, I know exactly what y'all want and I can just do that. But they like challenging themselves.
Yeah.
In that sense. And I
like,
think
how's my art growing up? I keep giving y'all niggas what y'all want.
Exactly. And I think for Kendrick, like he figured out a way to like mind fuck us with this project and do frontwards and backwards. It was very smart and very clever.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that where like, you know how sometimes like people say like, what's the difference between being smart and being intelligent? And like some people will say like, well, you can learn something in school, right, and like pass the test. But then like there's some people who like have like experiences like where like they learn things and like it makes them smarter. So like it makes them move through like smarter. And I think Kendrick's one of those people. Like you could be book smart and like you can read a book and take a test and like get 100 on the test, but like you don't utilize any of that in your real life.
Right.
So I think with Kendrick, like he's like a sponge. Everything that comes to him, he soaks it in. And then like in his music, like he gives it to us and it comes out so like brilliantly. Cause like the way he crafted this project is like what like fucking directors do for movies.
Yeah, facts. And it you could tell it took that much type of time.
Yeah.
I don't know what the recording process was like for him or how long it took.
That's my dream. My dream is to just be in a recording studio for a full length album, rap album, like see like everything that they go through.
Yeah.
Picking the track listing, doing the organization of it, how they keep what songs, why don't they use other songs, why don't they use other songs at a later date, like just get rid of it completely. It seems like
the song, like all right, promise that we got Untitled and Unmastered, right? After To Pimp a Butterfly. And then you listen to some song, you're just like, oh my God, this song didn't make the album.
Make it, yeah.
So imagine like the songs that didn't make Damn.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, hopefully maybe he'll give us another one.
Another Untitled Unmastered.
I would love another.
That'd be fly. That'd be really fly. We'll see. But check out the album if you haven't, or let us know what you think. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
We're out of here.
Catch you guys next time.
Dun dun.